Two. Two. Hello, check. Hello. Check. Check two. Hello. What's up, folks? How's the tummy? It's feeling a bit better today. I'm cautiously optimistic about the tummy situation. I was really unpleasant last night. I was really not feeling good last night. Today seems to be a little bit better. Not perfect. There's still some, I'm kind of not trusting it totally, you know? I would still qualify it as being upset, but it's not the same level of discomfort that I was in last night. So hopefully that's on the mend. How's it going with you folks? I'm still really not used to this no mustache thing, I gotta say. I don't think I look bad per se. I don't think I look bad. But it's still just not, it's not really working for me. You know? It's still not working for me. I think it was James that posted in the Discord an image of all the different YouTube thumbnails. And I looked at and I could see the previous version of myself along with the current version of myself, and it made me kind of sad. I was like, "Aw." I had long hair and a thick mustache. It made me kind of miss it. More of an annoyance than a dark passenger. Yeah, that's right. Call your dad to come pick you up. If only. Honestly, I didn't really want to stream today even. I'm just tired. Again, I didn't really sleep all that well. So my kid, he didn't have school today, but he had he didn't have class, but we have what's called a ped day. And he's literally just going to school to see they're bringing some animals from the Granby Zoo to school, and he's watching a movie. And usually on those days he just gets to stay home, but we inscribed him to go to school to this day just to hang out and watch a fucking movie and see animals at school. And he was just so upset. He was so upset this morning that he had to go do this, that he had to go watch a movie and have a zoo person come and show them animals. He was just like, "How could you do this? How could you do this to me?" So I don't feel very well. I'm tired, and I can't leave him there all day because he's never gonna forgive me. I know it sounds delightful. I know. But I can't. He's never gonna forgive me if I leave him here for this fun activity. Your hat says expose. Are you here to expose us to the lies of the lamestream fake news media today? Yes, I am, and that's exactly what that means. That is exactly what that means. You betrayed his trust, and you need to face that. How dare I send him on this fun activity? It's so difficult for him. This freaking guy. I love the guy, but it's come on, man. Come on. This is the image that gave me mustache dysmorphia. Because I think we hit public on the TRRS live YouTube page, which people should subscribe to, by the way. It's just it's a playlist of all the streams basically going back to February. So if you want to watch dozens of hours of TRRS content at any point, you can do that by subscribing to the TRRS live Substack. But I was looking at this though, and just seeing this and then this, and I was just like, oh man, I made a huge mistake. I don't know. I know some people prefer the top image, but I don't know. I still feel very strange about the whole thing. I liked about 90 videos before I got tired, and then I watched them all night. That's the attitude we like to have. Cinnamon challenge. Thank you. So I don't know. It was a nice little change, you know, shaving and everything. Neil said it's a pencil. It's not a pencil mustache, okay? It's just stubble. I just shaved and there's some stubble now. It was a nice little change, but I do think I'm going to be growing it back. I do think I'm going to be growing it back. Hello, Mr. Rousseau. Sorry, not sorry for chicken frying you. I will stoically and bravely face any discipline you deem appropriate. It's okay. That was funny. That was good. I like that. A little bit of chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night. I think your pencil mustache should be lower. That's literally just where it grows, James. Like, I can't control that. I can't just move it down. It's not an option. Use the character editor. Yeah, you just go down that y-axis. It's not thin enough to be a pencil mustache. Thank you, Outrun. Thank you. So I think I'm going to grow it back. Like, the hair is one thing. I don't mind having shorter hair. Having shaggier hair can be kind of frustrating. I think I got to grow the mustache back, though. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
I miss the old Rob. Straight from the go, Rob. Chop up his soul, Rob. Set on his goals, Rob. I hate the new Rob, the bad mood Rob. The always rude Rob. Always in the news Rob.
Thank you, Heroic Skeleton, for these 7 months of Prime. Thank you. That's the thing. I don't mind the short hair, but it's too much. I feel weird. I feel weird looking at myself. It's not always popular in the old household, but I think it must be done. Short hair to match those short shorts. That's right. I am wearing jeans right now, though. Anyway, that's my little crisis. That's my little grooming crisis that I'm going through right now. Now I can grow it back on the stream, though. It's going to be like a fun journey for all of us. It's going to be a fun little journey. So, this will probably be... Every time your mane gets glorious, you say you need a haircut. Don't do it. I think if it was up to me, I would just have big shaggy hair and a big crazy mustache. But it's like, I have to have some kind of boundaries, you know? I am like a respectable citizen, you know? I've got other people that are implicated in this. My grooming crisis probably not a good choice of words on this platform. Thank you, Carnoba. Thank you. I'm talking about grooming, as in like facial hair grooming. Just to be totally clear on this. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Got this cleanup because he's about to go full Karl Marx. I mean, if I could grow a full... I literally can't. I literally can't grow a full beard. I would consider it if that was an option, but it's literally just not possible. That's why I have gravitated towards the mustache, precisely for that reason. You know, that's what I've got. I work with what I've got. Geez, some major drilling downstairs again. Hopefully that'll be finished soon. So this will probably be another shorter stream. Like I said, I still am not totally feeling right. I can't leave my kid at school too late. So I'm just going to do another kind of shorter one, probably 2 hours or so. Have you thought about grafting hair from another part of your body to the above lip area? I could do that. Yeah, that would be kind of a shortcut. Maybe consider bringing back the mullet. I mean, I would consider all kinds of stuff. I would consider all kinds of stuff, but I don't know if it would go over too well. Get those Elon hair plugs for the stash. I mean, my stash was doing okay. It was doing okay without any of that kind of extra stuff, you know? You don't want to do the mullet, ironically. You'll end up loving it, and then it's stuck. See my beard. Yeah, you got the whiskers. You got those old Victorian-style whiskers now. Or it's the Lemmy from Motorhead, I believe. Friendly mutton chops. Fortunately, it's just not even an option for me to grow that kind of stuff. We should be putting out a new podcast episode in just a few moments. I was editing that this morning. We did an Insurgents episode with Ken Klippenstein last night, talking about the whole Elon Musk thing. Elon Musk and Twitter. God, that's loud. I think most of you are being covered or don't have to listen to it, but very, very loud. So the conversation we had with Ken was good. He also talked about his story in The Intercept right now about DHS, like policing speech online. The drilling just sounds like your phone is blowing up with text. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's all the big sponsors. All the big sponsors are coming after me. All the different soda companies are approaching me. They all want to get a piece of this action. Why is the caller ID showing Langley? That's odd. When we're guerrillas in the Canadian Shield helping the Indigenous people in their struggle against this terrible fake country, you can't grow a beard at all. I'm going to have like a tearful Wesley Snipes shoot you as a suspicious infiltrator. It's going to make me sad as that gif. I mean, I'll be able to grow... I'm going to be able to grow something. It's going to be more of like a Ho Chi Minh thing, though. Like more than a Che Guevara thing. Hopefully a ginger ale company calls and we can cure that tummy. The tummy's feeling okay. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. You know? I don't want to get too ahead of myself. It feels okay right now, though. Maybe I should bleach my hair. That would be kind of cool. What about that? Then that would really be a new Rob situation, wouldn't it? Imagine that. What would we think about that? You think I could pull that off? I got boosted and ate the best cinnamon roll of my life. Sorry I'm late. No problem, 10,000 sandwiches. Glad you enjoyed the cinnamon roll. This place is right across the street from me. You get some really good pastries. I had some very good pastries this morning. I'm here for frosted tips, driving like a Mayor of Flavortown vibe. That'd be good, yeah. Get those spikes going. Crazy Town Butterfly Rob arc. Oh man, the drilling. The drilling, folks. Very unpleasant. Gotta get the conch shell necklace, yeah. We just had an election here in Denmark, and while it looks like we'll still be ruled by neoliberal racist sockdems who ask how high when the USA tells them to jump, at least we avoided the literal actual Nazis entering government, and the socialists and quote-unquote socialists did okay, so a tiny, ugly W. I mean, sometimes that's all we can really expect, right? There's a lot of bad shit going on. Sometimes you gotta take those tiny asterisk W's when they come along. Do you still have a chain wallet? No, I never had a chain wallet. No. Just so loud. I'm trying to do good, honest, hard work in here. That's right. You're giving a piece of my mind, these people. So as I said, it's going to be a bit of a shorter stream. Like I'm tired. I feel sick still. Oh, it's so annoying. There's this going on. I got to pick up my kid. We can talk a little bit about Twitter stuff and Elon. Oh, I honestly don't even know if I can do this, but it's important to do it. I also want to talk about the CUPE strike, which is very important. The massive CUPE strike in Ontario right now, the Canadian Union of Public Employees, going on a historic strike right now, due to the Ford government very undemocratically trying to force these public sector workers back to work.
Rob Russo, some leftist based in Canada. I was turned on to this sick individual, and I found this.
Zach, thank you very much for the raid. Hell yeah, thank you, Zach. Everyone give Zach up a follow. Very much appreciate the raid, sir. How is your stream? Get in here, raiders. Bring it in. Hello, I'm Rob. Nice to see you. I don't normally look like this. I recently shaved, and I still don't know how I feel about it. I still feel kind of weird about it. So don't get too comfortable. All right? I don't normally look like this. You look excellent, sir. Thank you, Radio Yerevan. Thank you. Yeah, it does. I know it grows back. I take solace in that. He knows the Aussies would banter him into submission. I know. I can't handle that right now. I'm mentally unstable right now. I can't handle a bunch of Aussies coming in here and bantering me. Okay? That's not a mustache, Rob. You know this. I'm too fragile. Okay, I'm fragile. How about euros? Also unacceptable. I'm sorry. Also unacceptable. By the way, smash the follow button. Not that I've given you a lot of reason to do this so far in this raid, but please smash the follow button if you want to follow the channel. And everyone also make sure you give Zach App a follow as well. Thank you again for the raid, sir. So what am I talking about? Elon Twitter. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I want to talk about the CUPE strike. And by the way, our friend Pam Palmater is at the strike right now, live on TikTok. I want to see if I can find Pam's stream. No, that's not what I want. Just go to TikTok. No, I don't. Don't just start playing shit. I'm just going to the website. Like, fucking calm down. Just see if I can call up this live feed right now. I will never cut my mighty fearsome skullet. Hell yeah. Comrade social distancing. We love it. That's the kind of attitude we need to have. Just got back from Queen's Park. Good vibes down there. Great. Well, there's nothing but love and support to the striking CUPE workers right now. I've probably not spent enough time covering this issue. Hopefully, I'm gonna rectify that today. We're gonna give a little bit of background on this strike and why it's happening. Next week, I'm booking some guests so we can talk a little bit more about what's been going on in Ontario. It's so long. That was the whole time. It was drilling that entire time. Jesus. See, the noise gate catches it, but you see when I'm talking, you can hear it, can't you? You can hear that just non-stop drilling. If it makes you feel any better, we can barely hear it. I know, I'm sure it's okay for you. It's really distracting though when you're trying to like concentrate, especially when your brain is already bad. As mine is, as you know. You all know I've got a very bad brain, right? And you're trying to like focus, talk about important issues, and there's literally this in the background. It's just really not easy, okay? It's really not easy. It's so much. I really thought because it's November that someone would be like living there now. I thought someone would be living there and maybe they would stop with this, but I guess it's not quite finished. I'm going to try and call up Pam's feed, but I'm having a hard time with it so far. It's just my son playing with airplanes. So, I don't know. Do we even need to talk about the Elon Twitter stuff? I mean, we can take a look at it a little bit. Like, who could have predicted this? First and foremost, let's just get right into this. I can't do the chit chat. I don't really want to be here. I would like to just like sleep right now. And it's just not an option. Everything is kind of annoying me, if I want to be honest here. I'm annoyed by this drilling. I'm annoyed with how I look. Oh fuck. It's relentless. It is fucking relentless. So I'm just gonna try and I'm gonna try and speed run this whole thing. I'm gonna speed run the stream today, and hopefully people will still find it in their hearts to still support me, still support this channel, because that's, you know, I mean, obviously I don't care about money, and I'm just totally in here because I love informing and educating people. That's the primary reason why I'm here. But maybe some wonderful, amazing, generous people will still find it in their hearts to support the stream, despite my lack of mental ability and my decaying physical
you can count on me. You're
body
gonna have good old
well.
Rob to talk you through all this.
Jesus. Thank you, 10,000 sandwiches.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Thank you very much to 10,000 sandwiches. The 2 gifted subs, and thank you to Comrade Social Distancing for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Comrade Social Distancing, as well. So kind of you. Thank you. 800 gifted subs in this channel. Fucking unbelievable. I don't even know what to tell you. Comrade Social Distancing. You know, It really means a lot, that level of support. That there's some people out there that appreciate this community and this channel, you know? It really means a lot. So thank you very much. And I think your skullet is beautiful. I've never seen it in person, but I think it's I imagine that it's tremendous. Thank you to you both. So fuck, this is not even right here. The communist Denmark to Canada subversive financial pipeline. That's true. That's true. Turns out Elon doesn't know how to run a business. It seems like it. Well, as I've been saying, it's like running a business is actually a lot harder when you're not just getting tens of billions of dollars worth of subsidies from the government and while not turning a profit. You know? Turns out it's a lot more difficult than that, especially when you take over this massive social media platform that's so dependent on advertising revenue. And it's like your main business idea is that you want to turn it into this kind of like 4chan free speech zone where a bunch of fucking weird nerds are just like shouting slurs into the void all day. Turns out advertisers actually don't think that that's that great. Weirdly. He paid $44 billion to post free speech on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people won't pay for something they don't need and actually hate, and I'll be damned. I know. Yeah, and firing the entire workforce and now panicking. So here he says, yeah, open racism. He was famously very business friendly. Exactly. They love that. They love that kind of stuff. So he says Twitter is at a massive drop in revenue due to activist groups pressuring advertisers. And who is doing this? Like, seriously, where are these activist groups that are pressuring advertisers to not advertise on Twitter? Where is this happening? I don't know. Even though nothing has changed with content moderation. Although, is that true though? Like, I know it's like it isn't quite the free. There's already right-wingers complaining. And that it's not the free speech free-for-all that maybe some of these like right-wing guys were anticipating. But they have fired a huge percentage of their workforce, including the people running the content moderation in the first place. So that has changed. We did everything we could to appease the activists. Extremely messed up. They're trying to destroy free speech in America. And that should illustrate more than anything like how fucking much of a nonsense term free speech is. Like what is free speech? Like when you buy a massive social network for $44 billion and just like people do things that you don't like, that's free speech. That's protecting free speech, I guess. Like who is destroying when advertisers say like we don't really want to be a part of this actually? How is that trying to destroy free speech? Like it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And I'll just put on some different music. This one makes people sad. Put on a different one. Okay. So it does seems like things are going really great, which is amazing because like everyone could have predicted this. Everyone knew this was going to be a fucking disaster for Elon, and he seems surprised by this. Really, the slur-based pricing scheme is the best idea I've heard on how to monetize Twitter. I mean, that's a guaranteed to pull in a lot of funds. No, I definitely didn't think it would happen so quickly either. No, absolutely not. And even he's been posting all these stupid memes about this unfunny fucking asshole who thinks he's a comedian. This man thinks he's a goddamn comedian. He's posting this meme. He's posting... This man paid $44 billion to post soy jack memes and make sure and just ensure that his ability to do so is unencumbered. And it's just like, here's the thing. Paying $8 for a blue check or for Twitter Blue or whatever compared to paying $8 for a latte or a frappuccino or what have you at Starbucks. A Frappuccino, though, and I think $8 is like overpriced for a product like that. It's probably not very healthy, but it's a physical thing. Like it's a physical thing that you can hold in your hand, and it actually gives you some kind of sustenance, right? Probably a little too many calories, a little too much sugar, but it's still like an enjoyable thing that you can drink. You know, you put it in your body, you know, it feels good. I keep saying really out of context all kinds of bad stuff today. Really need to work on that. Not that anyone in this community would ever like clip me out of context or make it seem like I'm saying one thing when I was not saying that. But there is a big difference between like paying $8 for a physical product you can hold in your hand and like consume. Versus this, for what? Like, for what are we paying Twitter Blue for? For a fucking edit button? For a little check mark next to your name? To have your to be able to have your tweets seen by people? Like, you're gonna pay for that? It's tangible. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you're gonna pay to get like the nonstop psychic damage. The nonstop psychic damage of looking at Twitter. Why the time limit on the drink? I don't exactly know. What, 30 minutes? I mean, I guess the idea is you're going to buy one of these for one day, maybe one per day, versus spending $8 at once in 30 days. What is this 30 minutes? You're drinking one Frappuccino every 30 minutes? What's that? This meme doesn't even really make sense. No one is like, that would be extremely bad for you to be drinking one Frappuccino every 30 minutes. It lasts 30 minutes. The Kafifi. You remember that? That was funny. Takes you a half hour to consume a single Kafifi. I legit haven't noticed a difference in my Twitter experience. I totally have. I mean, whenever I see people complaining about being throttled or whatever, or losing followers, it's just always lame. So I would never do that. I have definitely over the last couple of weeks, even before Elon came on though, so I don't know what's really going on. Definitely since the switch over though, I've been losing lots of followers. Maybe it's people leaving, maybe it's bots or whatever that are going away. I'm not sure. It does seem like a lot of my tweets are not being seen by the same amount of people that they once were. I'm never going to be one of these people being like, I'm being silenced and censored by big tech, because it's just stupid whenever you do that. I'm losing followers, like complaining about this, like, you know, it's stupid and lame. But I've definitely noticed a significant like decrease both in my followers and like my ability for my tweets to be seen by people. And also just like I'm being shadow banned. I'm being shadow banned, folks. Well, he did fuck with AOC's account, but I don't know, because like I think just the app has been glitching for like weeks. Like even before, it seems worse lately, but even before Elon took over, I was getting a lot of like, this tweet is not available right now. I'm seeing a ton of like tweets that I click on, and it's like, this tweet is not, it just disappears. I can see all the replies, but I don't see the tweets. It just seems more buggy than anything. I don't know if it's like any kind of like speech thing or algorithm thing, but it's become significantly buggier. Do you think the employees are sabotaging it? Man, I guess that could be possibly it. I don't know. Hey, when they hand you a cappuccino and then hit the button that starts a 30-minute count on that large sinister clock. Yeah. He wants to cut $1 billion from infrastructure costs too. Yeah, it's just like, and firing half the staff. Like the app's going to be fucking unusable, I feel like. I was about to say I'd be shocked if disgruntled employees weren't leaving things that have stayed on purpose. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising, definitely. I don't know. I'm having weird feelings about it too, because I've talked about how if it went away, I think I would kind of celebrate. I also just like, man, I've put so much fucking time and energy into building a profile on here and building a following. I put so much time into gaining fucking 90,000 followers on Twitter. I sacrificed so much. I sacrificed my dignity. You know, I made so many people mad from across the political spectrum. You know, and I hate fighting with people. I hate when people are mad at me. I made thousands of people just so upset in order to get to this point. I've put so much into this. And like I don't feel like I can really. I'm never going to take that time again. Like I'm going to be here on Twitch. I'm not a fallacy guy, but I put too much into my Twitter following for it to go away. Is the sunk cost fallacy? That's definitely true. I was turned on to this sick individual through Twitter, and this is the problem. Like as much psychic damage I've taken from Twitter, and I've taken a lot. Believe me, I've given myself like literal fucking brain damage from using this website. Don't want to understate that. It's also made me like I've had all kinds of interesting connections. It's totally changed my whole life. You know, it changed the whole trajectory of my life using this stupid website. So I do have a sense of like nostalgia over that. I actually went from a dirtbag left to an anti-imperialist ML because of Twitter. Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's been a central
You've just
part
become an elite member of the friendship triangle
of my sort of political trajectory. Holy shit. Holy shit. Calm like a Tom. Calm like a Tom. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. So kind of you. So kind of you. Calm like a Tom. Shout out to Kieran Opal for playing her part on that. She played a part on that for me too, Kieran. I've learned a lot from Kieran over the years. And yeah, I think when I was kind of just in this sort of shitposty dirtbag left mindset, being exposed to viewpoints like Kieran really like helped pull me further along, you know? Down with check marks, up with triangles of glorious friendship. Well, that's the thing. No matter, even if Twitter does, and the thing is, I don't think Twitter is going anywhere. I don't think the website's going to go anywhere. It might be permanently bricked or it might be permanently changed. But like, I don't think it's really like going to leave. I don't think the website itself is going to go away. Maybe it will, but I don't really think that. But, you know, I'm going to be here though. I'm going to be here. And as I pointed out today on Twitter, fortunately, Twitch is just a cool and normal place filled with just normal, well-adjusted people. Of course, not owned by a billionaire tech oligarch type. So, you know, I've transitioned more to using this and that. So, should be A-okay. Now just take a big sip of water and check out more information about this website. Sorry, I don't have any water. Twitter won't go away, but it'll be as relevant as Tumblr. I mean, that seems to be the basic misunderstanding, right, about this, is that, like, it's not just the app or whatever. Part of the reason that people want to be there, even right-wingers and everyone, is because it's become, for whatever reason, the preferred like spot, the preferred app for like politicians, for journalists. And that's why none of these like Twitter competitors in Parlay or Truth Social or any of these things, that's why they never take off. What was that other one? Gab? That's why they never take off, because it's like people want to be on the website where everyone else is. Even the liberals that they hate. Right? You know, it's like you can't own the libs if they're not on the platform. If they're not on Truth Social, you can't own the libs. Like, they're only there. That's why the amazing thing about Elon seems determined to just drive these people away. He seems determined to just make these people not use the website anymore, at which point it will be worthless. It's no fun if the abyss doesn't stare back. That's right. Thank you. These trends shift so easily now. Facebook was the default social media 10 years ago. It's irrelevant now. But also, it's not even users, right? It's like, because Facebook is still widely used by tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions. Twitter is like, in terms of the actual usage, is low on the list of like popular social media websites. Below Instagram, below Facebook, below a lot of things. But the reason it's become like this cultural touchstone is because politicians and journalists are obsessed with it. You know? If you own a lib in the middle of the forest, was the lib really owned? That's right.
This is some guy, Rob Russo, some leftist based in Canada. I was turned on to this sick individual, and I found this.
Ambigubot, thank you for the raid. Thank you, Ambigubot. Very much appreciated. Get in, Raiders. Thank you, Ambigubot. We're talking Elon Twitter. We're talking Elon Twitter. How do you feel about it? How was your stream today, Ambigubot? How did it go? Where else can you see a viral post about a red panda being cute? Followed by a sponsored post tweet about the best male jerk-off toy on the market shown by using a cucumber with the toy. I've seen that one with the rose, yeah. Not that I'm familiar with it in real life or anything, of course not. But yeah, it's like, where else am I ever gonna see discourse about someone saying that it's like ableist to boil an egg, like to know how to boil an egg? Where am I gonna see that? You know, I can only see that on Twitter when someone says like, I don't know how to make an egg. And for you to think that I should know how to make an egg, that's like an insult to disabled people. Where am I going to see this? I'm not going to see that on Twitch. Who do I give $8 to get the P-colored TRRS sub badge? Again, it's not P-colored. That's not correct. You got, you're at 17 months, Starlight. You got another half a year to go, a little bit more. People that learn to cook as a kid are privileged, actually. No. It's funny because I've seen both opposite ends of that discourse on Twitter. I've seen like, you're privileged if you do cook, and I've also seen you're privileged if you don't cook. If you don't cook and you just rely on delivery servers, privileged. You're also privileged if you do know how to cook and you know how to like fucking put stuff in a pan and heat it up, and like that's also privileged. I think we're just supposed to just like, according to some people online, we're just supposed to like wear a barrel all day and just like lie down and don't move and just like nibble. If there's grass nearby you, you just kind of like, you can nibble on that. And that's the only way you can live, you know, reasonably. Just eat some bugs. Cave people be hella privileged to have found fire. Seriously. He's onto the barrels again. It's true. Exactly. A true leftist. Thank you, Ambigubot. You can only consume shadows. Correct. Socialism is when raw egg. Yes. I didn't send my kid to school today because I think that's tantamount to crossing a picket line. But it's taking a toll on my work day as a tech bro, not going to lie. Yeah, well, I'm glad to see that you did not do that. I know not all schools are closed in Ontario, but, you know, many are because it's, again, the CUPE, it's not teachers, it's not the teachers union that's on strike, but it's like the learning assistants, the custodians, and a lot of people that schools need to run. My kid is in school today in Quebec.
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
In Quebec, obviously, it's due. I'm not in Ontario, but he's in school, and as I was saying, he was very upset about having to go to school today on what is supposed to be a day off to look at videos and look at animals. Calm Like a Tom, thank you for another gifted sub to Sexy Silver Grandpa. Thank you, Calm Like a Tom. So I don't know, do we need to talk more about Twitter? Should I just pivot to talking about the CUPE and we can get into the background of that? I've got some possible guests lined up next week to get more into the strike as it goes on. Let's talk about the ICUP. Let's talk about the PCP. Let's talk about the ICP. You know when you go get him, he'll be equally pissed about leaving. That's probably true. People telling us to touch grass are preparing humanity for the bug-eating future. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Hey, G Cluppy, thank you for gifting a sub to Carnoba. Thank you, G Cluppy. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. And I was saying, you know, I feel like my Twitter has been deboosted. I've lost a lot of followers.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
I've touched way too much grass lately.
Sir Brain Damage, thank you for the 8 months of Tier 1. Thank you very much. I had some toasted crickets the other night at an indigenous restaurant and they were good as hell, so maybe the bug-eating future ain't so bad. I mean, I don't want to fully get on board with the bug-eating yet, but it's like we eat a lot of really bad shit, you know? That in comparison is probably not that big of an upgrade. You know? Anyway, as I was saying though, I know I was talking about how my Twitter's been deboosted. I've lost followers. It's harder for me for my tweets to be seen by people, but maybe things are on the up and up because I did just get the elusive prestige follow from mommysucks.com. So that just came in. Breaking news. Breaking news over here. I got the exclusive mommysucks.com follow. I'm not going to click that. No, do not click that. Eating bugs is pretty normal everywhere but North America. I mean, yeah, shrimp and lobster are just sea bugs. Everyone always hunting for that follow. Very elusive. I know. I've been working on that one for a while. The least we could do in return is check out that website's content live on stream. The least we could do. Exactly. I agree. And I do just want to link our podcast episode that just came out. I was just quote tweeting it to send to Elon Musk as well. The podcast episode with Ken just dropped. Really good one. I'm going to link it right here in the chat. Please give it a listen. It's right there. Kenny Beats. Kenny Clips. I'm basking in the privilege of having brown rice congee for breakfast, aka Chinese prison gruel, in memory of our precious Michaels. That's very good to hear, Carnoba. Very good to hear. Can't wait for China to ramp up production to artificial meat. I would try some G Clubby says I would try to eat some lab-grown meat, even though I think it's probably some sort of evil in a Cronenberg type of way. If they could get it to a point where it was as cost-effective, you know? You're a no on the lab meat, Squatch? I don't know. I don't care. Again, we eat so much utter garbage, you know? That's what I think they're moving towards. Interesting. We eat so much just pure shit in our culture. Sometimes I think the pickiness might be a little overblown. Have you ever noticed Bart, Lisa, and Maggie are the only ones without a hairline? Everyone else is either bald or has distinct hair. I have noticed that, Maxie, and that's been an issue for my son. He's been asking about this. He wants to know if they have real hair or what, or if their heads are just shaped like that. And I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to tell him, Maxie. I don't have a real answer for that question. It's fucked up. Who knows? Just tell him it's a cartoon and get over it. Would you believe that he will not accept that answer? How the fuck is lab meat worse than the factory farm garbage we currently get? Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think I would prefer to do that, frankly, because it's like knowing I still... You know, I eat meat. I enjoy eating meat, but it's like I don't like supporting this like horrific factory farming system that's incredibly cruel, that's incredibly damaging to the environment. Like if the fucking protein is the same, like, who cares? Like I don't know why that's so weird. I housed a half pound of salami yesterday, so I'm not too worried about lab meat. Hey, give it to me. Give me the lab meat. I'd be happy to have it. I enjoy the plant-based meat. That's good stuff. You get that Beyond Burger at A&W. Tremendous. Tremendous burger. Not only is factory farming incredibly cruel, it takes so much water. Literally, a majority of our grains go towards feeding the livestock. Like we were saying before, that's why the Amazon clear cutting is happening. That's why we're destroying one of the world's largest, or the largest carbon sink in the world. We're destroying it for more factory farming for beef. You know, it fucking makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. Bugs, lab meat, whatever. I'm honestly looking forward to the food-flavored paste future. Like that episode, like in Andor, you have a little tube. You have a little feeding tube in your little cubicle or whatever. And if you work really hard, you get a little flavor in there. If I eat Kraft dinner with ketchup on a weekly basis, I can't really complain about lab meat. I mean, Kraft dinner with ketchup is just a wonderful meal regardless. You know? Regardless of your views on any of this. You should be happy to have that and proud. Lab meat probably somehow wouldn't be healthy, but we wouldn't know until years later. In all reality, if it came to that, I would in fact not eat the corporation's lab meat slop. I say give me the slop. Give me that slop. That's what I say. Give me my feeding tube. Let's just fucking cut out the middleman. I don't even have to get groceries. You just get the slop man coming to finish your like fill up your slop allotment, once a month or whatever. And when you're hungry, you just... There we go. I had a McRib for the first time yesterday, and I think it was lab-grown meat. It doesn't feel like that naturally. I did see that I don't think I've had a McRib. Just hamster style it up. This is what I'm saying. Give me the slop. I don't think I've had a McRib, but I saw that tweet, that viral tweet where the guy was like, does this even classify as food? And it's literally just someone taking a frozen McRib thing and grilling it and then putting it in barbecue sauce. It's like, yes, that is indeed how fast food is made. You have something frozen and you put it on the grill and then it makes it warm. And you put it in a sandwich with some kind of sauce and you eat it. It's not really that big of a deal. Getting dinner at Slop King. It'll be fine. Give me my slop tube. May every home's slop tank runneth over. A filled slop tank in every home. Right? Instead of a chicken in every pot. Whether it's bugs, lab-grown slop, or beyond slop, factory farming is unsustainable. That should be clear. Yeah, that seems obvious. It is funny when people get mad about this stuff because it's obvious they've never bought real groceries or cooked a meal in their life. Okay, sorry, just boosting the Insurgents episode. Really good episode with Kenny Clips. Vladimir Putin doesn't want you to have a bountiful slop tag, Jack. Yeah, no, Carnova, I've seen that. There's a Jamie Oliver bit where in front of a bunch of kids, he throws chicken feet and necks in a food processor with cornstarch and other stabilizers, then breads them up and cooks them to demonstrate how chicken McNuggets are made. The kids are all like, ew, the whole time until they come out of the oven, then they're all, yay. Yeah, he's like, now kids, who would eat this? And they're all just like, yeah, I would love to. I would love to eat that. It's so funny. That's really good. Okay, what time is it? 1:43. Okay, I think I should get into the CUPE strike stuff. Maybe we can find Pam's tweet on it. I'll just take one small little break. I'm just going to go to the bathroom and maybe get like an apple or something, a glass of water, and then we can talk about the CUPE strike, okay? I have not been covering this enough, and I plan to rectify that today. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to leave you with... I'm going to put on the preview for the Insurgents episode that we just put out, okay? And again, I encourage everyone to listen to this episode with Kenny Clips. It's very good. I'll put on the preview right now. I'm just going to take a little break. You can listen to that. It's 6 minutes. I'll come back. We'll talk about the CUPE strike in Ontario. Very important subject. I'm going to make sure we have the background on that, and we'll see if we can find our friend Pam's stream about it. She's there at the strike action right now. Okay, so here's our preview of our brand new Insurgents episode with Kenny Klippenstein episode 122. I'll be right back.
It was funny to see all the conservatives who thought he was going to reinstate free speech or whatever, like have the bill come due and realize what the rest of us knew for like the last 10 years, which is that this guy says things and does something else. Like within, what was it, 48 hours of him buying it, he's like, yeah, and we're going to have the speech committee, and all the right wings flipping out. It's like, dude, how did you not see this coming?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just like after he actually got it. They have been saying this for months, like since like he first entered talks with Twitter and had no control or ownership or anything. He had no, hands or fingers or anything on the levers or mechanisms on how that site ran, and they were all saying, wow, I can already see how Elon is changing things. I'm getting a huge boost in my algorithms and all this shit. And then like 48 hours after he actually had control, it's like Cat Turd Dad or whatever was like, I was wrong. I will admit when I was wrong, and I am thoroughly disappointed. It's like, how the fuck do you think this was actually going to work?
Well, it's because they're endless like persecution complex too. It's like you've got everything that you want. This is exactly what you wanted. The woke left is owned now. You've got your free speech guy in charge. Everything it's ready to it's fucking free for all. And they're still just like, I'm still being shadow banned. When will the shadow ban be removed? I want to talk to my grandkids again. It's like they just can't be happy. They can't be happy.
Well,
it's
he's come through on his word before. That's why all the Teslas are self-driving now. So I'm sure he will fix things as soon as he can.
Yeah, how long is Tesla going to be solvent for? Because all the big auto manufacturers are getting into the EV business, and I assume they're going to do it a lot better.
Yeah, and making cars that don't just explode randomly, trapping their owners inside. Which seems to me like a pretty big flaw.
It's not their only product too. Like, so they don't have to be in this mad dash like he is with everything he does. So they don't have to go out and say like, oh, we're going to be able to fly next year. They're not setting these unrealistic expectations on themselves.
Yeah. I mean, just the whole thing has been frustrating because like he's literally promised these massive advancements in transit technology for a technology that has existed for literally centuries now. Trains, there's there's mass transit systems in numerous American cities. There's a lot of cities where there were mass transit systems that just went away because they were underfunded, or the auto lobby influenced these cities to not continue to build the kind of infrastructure. All the technology for amazing, wonderful, high-tech, futuristic mass transit systems already exists. And like these cities across America and Canada could have been spending the last 10, 15 years just putting billions of dollars into that, rather than like this complete nonsense fake technology that doesn't exist. Meanwhile, all the actual infrastructure that's already there is just decaying and it's horrible, and no one uses it. And that's the frustrating thing, is that people, not even Musk, but people like Musk, have stalled any kind of effort to actually invest in transit, which should be a really important plank in any kind of green vision for the future, or a future that moves us away from fossil fuels. Like the idea that we can have a green future while still tripling down on car culture has always been a fantasy, right? Whether it's Musk pushing that or any of these big car companies pushing EVs or zero emission vehicles, we have to actually move away from car culture in general. And Musk has been a main figure, not the only figure, but a main figure in ensuring that this transition just never happens. And we've wasted like a good 10, 15 years where we actually could have been making huge investments in this kind of, again, already existing technology. And it's been a complete waste.
Maybe we should just propose to these neoliberal mayors, we just take an ordinary like high-speed rail system, and then in the schematics just draw in like arrow flux capacitor for time travel, and then get them to sign off on that, and then just the time travel part never comes through, but we have a regular high-speed rail.
Yeah. I don't know. If you can just like paint like a car exterior on the outside, be like, ooh, look at the cool, it's like a car, but it brings like a few hundred people at a time. It's on a track. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing, this new thing. Wait, what if we did that? It's like kind of a new car thing. It's like a future car or something. Maybe we can sell that to people. I don't know.
Thank you for listening to this sample of the Insurgents podcast. To hear the rest of this episode and for more bonus content, please subscribe at theinsurgents.com.
I gotta pony up. Want to hear more? Want to hear more of that? First taste is free. Dumb question, but I know why the U.S. is against high-speed rail. How's the talk in Canada about it? I don't know. It's just, I went over this a couple weeks ago. Doc, not so strange, but the amazing thing about rail in Canada is, what did we determine last time? Something like 60% of the Canadian population lives in this line, basically stretching from Quebec City to Toronto, Ontario. Or I think you could go to Windsor. And it would be really easy if there was an actual government in place that was determined to do this, and a political system that was in a political system that allowed a government to actually invest in this kind of big infrastructure projects. It'd be very easy to build relatively easy to build a high-speed rail system in Canada that serviced a huge percentage of the population, that was subsidized and cheap and fast, and would be a huge positive impact on our sort of zero carbon future. Would benefit millions of people, a huge percent of the population. Just this one line, it's not the whole country, but just that would be imminently doable. And the fact that it just has not happened, I think, is a testament to how we, similarly to the United States, we have no fucking political imagination. We have no ability to invest in these big infrastructure projects like we're seeing other more democratic countries around the world, like China, doing relatively easily. Yeah, and that's it. It's hard to imagine a big infrastructure project like that getting purchased when leadership is only consistent for a few years at a time in either the US or Canada. And we've brainwashed ourselves into thinking that that's what democracy is. In our wonderful, amazing liberal democracies, when we just hand over power between these two different parties every couple of years. But it also leads to nothing like that being done whatsoever. And we've got transit systems. We've got a great transit system in Montreal. It's probably one of the better ones in North America. There's a transit system in Toronto, and all these things could be subsidized even more than they already are. Have free transit or almost free. This would be a hugely beneficial public project, and just there seems to be no appetite for that whatsoever. I mean, we have a progressive government in the city government in Montreal right now that campaigned on more metro stops and expanding the metro system, and it just hasn't happened. Yeah, like you said, the public transit and SkyTrain is great, but very expensive. And we have, even the rail infrastructure we have now is prohibitively expensive. We can't even subsidize the rail system that we currently have now, I went to Quebec City a few months ago for a work thing, and I went to see that Oliver Stone Q&A. Which was very cool, by the way. I would have loved to have just been able to take the train to that. It's too expensive. I went to Brockville a few weeks ago to go to my mom's house with my son. I wanted to maybe take the train with him. We can go on the train, and that would be kind of a fun activity. It's too expensive, though. It's less expensive to take my gas-powered car. Because even our existing rail system now, which is inadequate and understaffed and underfunded, and not fast enough, it's still prohibitively expensive for people to use. It just makes no sense. And it's the kind of thing that all it takes is money. All it takes is an investment to improve that situation. Even flights from Toronto to Montreal are cheaper than the train ride. Yeah, it's comparable, definitely. And even then, it's just so much faster and so much more efficient that people probably, even if it is more expensive, they're going to, even if it's slightly more expensive, they'll take the flight over the train. Yeah, my wife's family is near Rimouski and it costs us $200 in gas for the round trip, but it's still cheaper. Like, it's fucking insane. And it's not like the gas isn't subsidized. It is. And even the gas is expensive, but it's still incredibly subsidized. That's why we're able to like use these gas powered vehicles around the country, around the world. The train just from TO to Ottawa is 7 hours. Like, it's ludicrous. It is ludicrous. And I don't know about Canadian cities, but most of the public transit is privately owned in the US, not actually public owned. That's why they're expensive for profits. Yeah, and it's the same in Canada as well. How pathetic is it that what passes for a huge infrastructure bill now is just putting money towards making sure our bridges don't collapse and stuff instead of anything proactive? Just continually patching a 1950s infrastructure well into the 21st century. It's just madness. It's just pure madness. Or Canada's too big for train. They always say we should not get trains because people hate them, but they hate them because it's so disinvested. This is neoliberalism 101, right? Of course they hate them. When it's prohibitively expensive and slow and annoying, yeah, it turns out people hate them. If you pumped billions of dollars into it, made it less expensive, and made it faster, lo and behold, people would not hate it so much. Or Canada's too big for trains as if 70% of the population is not in the same area from Windsor to Quebec. That's right. We don't need it would be cool to have a national high-speed rail line, but we don't even need that. But we could still connect that area that services a huge percentage of the population. There's tens of millions of people that live just in that one region, you know? And there is already Via Rail that runs across the entire Canada already. It makes no sense. Yeah, finish my apple here. A gimmick walk came into my bar last night, was incredibly polite and kind. I asked him if he knows of your shows, and well, he does now. I think that was probably Jean-Pierre. He always jokes around like that. He's saying he doesn't know me and everything. We all know each other. That's right, Squatch. Delicious apple. This is the rare red knife. The rare red knife. Breton. JP. Classic JP. We all know when he gets up to those kind of hijinks. You can't tell there's blood on that one. That's right. Hey James, you got the 24-month badge. That's cool. Is that a new thing? I hadn't noticed that. I love seeing those 24-month badges. The gold, cool badge that does not look like P. The rare San Diego JP sighting. He's always up to something, you know? I don't know what he's doing down there. The only time I found rail to be affordable was when I bought a UK train pass for a month as a tourist, but those prices were not available to locals. Yeah, no, and when I was in Europe too, I had like the Eurorail pass, which was really cool. Let's talk about the CUPE strike, okay? Now, imagine being able to go from Toronto to Montreal in less than 2 hours for a decent price. I know. It would be incredible. It would be life-changing for a lot of people. Like, it would completely change everything about transport in this country. So listen, as I said, this is not a story that I've been covering enough, and I wanted to get a little bit of background on it. I don't know if this is really interesting content, but friend of the stream, Jeremy Appel, has a piece in Jacobin about the CUPE strike. You can read it right here. Please both read that and subscribe to Jeremy's Substack, The Orchard. Really great journalist, Jeremy. Friend of the stream. He's been on the stream many times. Or a couple times. CUPE. Okay, it's just the CUPE. Okay, the CUPE. The CUPE. Okay. Thank you, Old Dutch. Earlier when you said that, I saw you say that in the chat and I had no idea what that was a reference to. But I guess that makes sense. The CUPE strike. It shows how little I know about this. No more labor rights for us. Well, that's right. No, you don't. So please check out Jeremy's piece in this on Jacobin. I'm not going to read the whole thing, and subscribe to Jeremy's Substack. But I just want to give, for anyone that's like needs a background on this, what the CUPE is, the Canadian Union of Public Employees, how this relates to the Ford government in Ontario, and what is going on with this strike. You know, no matter where you are, I think it's important to pay attention to the kind of like these kind of big labor actions that's happening, and what's happening right now in Ontario is a really historic moment, both in the Ford government's extremely undemocratic and anti-worker actions that they're taking right now, and the way that the CUPE is not putting up with any of this bullshit. So regardless of where you are, I think it's going to be helpful. So I'm just going to read some of this piece. I don't know if this is very exciting content.
And have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
GMO Radio, thank you for the gifted sub, and thank you, Step Back History.
This is some guy, Rob Russo, some leftist based in Canada. I was turned on to this sick individual, and I found this.
Thank you so much, Step Back History, for the raid. Get in, Raiders. Welcome, Step Back History. Hope you had a great stream today. We're just talking about the CUPE strike in Ontario right now. Is this a right to work type moment for Canada? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So anyone whining that the kids have already missed enough school is a spineless worm and I spit on them. Canadians are the worst. Yeah, anyone that is not standing with these workers is just fucking pathetic. But I imagine, like you're pointing out, Bigger Wig and Frosty Wad. I just about exploded looking at CBC comments. You don't look at those comments. By the way, Raiders, I'm Rob. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. And smash the follow button if you can, okay? Costs nothing to smash that follow button. Anyway, we're just learning about this huge historic strike happening right now in Ontario, the CUPE strike. So we're just going to read a little bit of this piece from our friend Jeremy Appel in Jacobin. It's called Ontario. The title is Ontario Premier Doug Ford is using the needs of students to justify attacking labor rights. So we'll get a little background on this strike and what is going on. I got a few tweets to look at, And then maybe we can look at some live streams from some of the strike actions that are going on today. Make sure you smash it. Don't just press it. Really put some oomph into it. Put some oomph. Okay? All right, so. Oh, shit. Doug Ford, by the way, it's really great that Doug Ford just sailed to a re-election with zero fucking difficulty and is now behaving like this. It's really fucking an example of our sterling, shining democracy that we should lecture everyone around the world about in this country. Doug Ford, Ontario's Conservative Premier, is preemptively sending education workers back to work after their union announced they would go on strike this week. This decision effectively revokes education workers' collective bargaining rights. Ford is imposing his government's preferred contract on the union for up to 5 years, setting a dangerous precedent for labor rights under the rhetoric of children's need to stay in school. The Canadian Union of Public Employees, CUPE, represents 55,000 education workers, including educational assistants, librarians, custodians, and early childhood educators, but not teachers, in Canada's biggest province. CUPE announced its intention to strike on October 30th, giving the government the required 5 days' notice before launching its job action. In response, Ford's government announced it would use its majority in the provincial legislature on Halloween to ram through the so-called Keeping Students in Class Act. Not a class act, as Doug Ford, if you ask me. So, imposing draconian penalties on those who strike, $4,000 per person and $500,000 per organization. So this is what's being rammed through in the Ontario legislature right now under the Conservative government in Ontario. The right to strike is constitutionally protected under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. To forestall potential challenges, Ford's new legislation contends that the Act applies despite the Human Rights Code. The Act is clearly an assault on Canadian labor rights. The claim that the contract must be imposed because of the need for schools to function smoothly does not square well with the Ford government's cuts to the education budget. This is the bullshit about Doug Ford and like austerity-obsessed conservatives like him. We're so concerned for the students, right? That's why we're destroying labor rights in this province, because we're just so concerned for the poor students with all the COVID lockdowns and all the stuff that they've been through. We just can't keep them out of school, folks. We can't do it. And meanwhile, they're fucking slashing the first thing they want to cut whenever they want to start slashing public spending is these education budgets. Education budgets in Ontario have been being slashed for now decades under conservative governments and neoliberal governments. We're so concerned about the women of Afghanistan. That's right. That's the other version of that. Having all the scab parents crying about it. But what about my kid? You have blame the fucking government. That's what I mean. These fucking people. I just want my kid to go to school. And I get it. Listen, I'm a parent too. I get it. It's really hard when school is canceled. It's really hard to try and work while taking care of your school. But you should blame the fucking problem. Blame the reason this is happening is the Ford government that is arbitrarily destroying people's rights to collectively bargain, which is an extremely important facet of any society that's resembling any kind of democracy. When is someone going to invade us and restore democracy to Canada? President Xi, please. My people yearn for freedom, okay? And we want to join the Belt and Road Initiative, and we want a nice Chinese-built high-speed rail system. Please. The Canadian workers need you. President Xi, sir. We're so concerned about the students. That's why we've slashed all these education budgets for fucking generations. The claim that the contract must be imposed because of the need for schools to function smoothly does not square well with the Ford government's cuts to the education budget. Based on the Ford government's own predictions, Ontario's Financial Accountability Office forecasts a shortfall of $12.3 billion in education spending over the next decade. A government that truly cared about children staying in school would make funding and proper pay for educational workers a top priority. That's right. If you care so much about students being in school, pay these fucking workers what they deserve, okay? And we'll see what these unions are asking for, and it's not unreasonable at all. So here's the section on the notwithstanding clause. This is how they rammed through this. How they're ramming through this bill. CUPE's president Fred Hahn says that the union won't be deterred from job action, setting the stage for a major showdown on November 4th, today. We will withdraw our labor and we will fight back against this attempt to remove our members' rights and to institute a collective agreement. Our members have made that decision. We proudly support them in doing that. The Toronto District School Board, Canada's largest, will close schools on November 4th. While not an explicit gesture of solidarity, a statement from the board acknowledged that if CUPE workers aren't at work, we cannot guarantee that our learning environments will remain safe and clean for all students. However, the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario and Ontario's Secondary School Teachers Federation both called off ongoing contract negotiations with the province to protest its openly unconstitutional legislation. The board is able to run roughshod over workers' constitutional rights due to the notwithstanding clause, a mechanism in the 1982 Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms that allows governments to pass laws violating certain sections of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Canada is the only constitutional democracy with a clause that cancels out the rights outlined in its constitution. This is our beautiful, wonderful democracy that we love to lecture all the bad, mean, authoritarian countries around the world about. There's a specific clause when the government doesn't like to follow the specific rights outlined in the Constitution. It's like, we don't actually have to do that this time, though. The notwithstanding clause has many times over been a tool for right-wing provincial governments to pass legislation without regard for constitutional rights. Ford used the clause to unilaterally cut Toronto City Council in half in the midst of his 2018 election campaign. The Ford government used it again last year to prevent third-party advertisers from advertising more than a year from an election. On November 1st, Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who himself has a mixed record on labor issues, condemned Ford for invoking the notwithstanding clause to suspend workers' rights. So now we're going to see what these greedy union members are asking for, right? What a sad country. I can't believe I used to brag about us. It's a really essential part of our journey, right? Is understanding how fucking backwards and fucked up it is, right, Zach? Because if you buy into the maple wash propaganda about this country, and you see the nonstop shit show in America, you can fool yourself into thinking that this country is like good in some way. And it's very important for all of us to deprogram ourselves from this completely false notion about what Canada is about and what our values are. Document negotiated by Pierre Trudeau, Justin's daddy. Good point. Yeah, good point. Please, President Xi, free us from this. We're in this political dynasty. It's basically a monarchy. It's got no term limits. He's the son of the former prime minister. But hey, we have healthcare for now. Yeah, for now. Big caveat there. Not if Pierre Poilievre has anything to say about it. And the Liberal Party is rolling out the red carpet for them right now. So hold on to your butts, as they say. Mohammed bin Pierre, thank you. Yes. I think you pointed it out, but all our propaganda is done by Molson and Tim Hortons. You can't unsee it now. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's true. So anyway, here's what these greedy union members are asking for. CUPE is asking for an 11.7% annual pay increase, which works out to an additional $3.25 per hour. According to the union, its workers are the lowest paid in educational facilities, making just $39,000 a year on average. How much does housing cost in Ontario, by the way? You know, if you're one of these union members, you make $39,000 per year. That's not enough to afford housing in most cities in Ontario. Not even close. 98% of Canadians get their history from Tim's commercials, and not even an exaggeration. Well, maybe the percentage is an exaggeration, but it's very true that many people in this country do. Yeah, and 39K is only like 32K take home. Exactly. It's nowhere near enough to afford housing, let alone everything else that you would need to afford to raise a family or everything else that you need to functionally live in this society. Due to years of inflation, wage freezes, and salary caps, education workers have fallen badly behind. The union also wants to eliminate pay grids so all workers make the same wage, including casual and temporary workers, and for overtime pay to be doubled. Employees whose core duties are related to instruction, educational assistants, and early childhood educators. And if anyone has a kid that has any kind of special needs, you will know how fucking important these educational assistants and early childhood educators are. right? I don't have to lecture people about it, but anyone who's ever known a kid that has any kind of special needs whatsoever, absolutely vital members of any educational staff, these educational assistants and early childhood educators, should have at least half an hour of prep time before each class, the union says. Additionally, CUPE is requesting its members get paid 5 days off the week before school year begins, get 5 paid days off the week before the school year begins, an early childhood educator in every kindergarten class, and $100 million investment in new job creation. All very reasonable. Is $39K enough to live anywhere in Canada? I would say no. No. Who are they going to cast as Pierre Poilievre in the Canadian Heritage Moment recreation of the privatization of healthcare? I don't know. Like fucking Ben Shapiro's son, I guess. In the future. Great showing at my local picket line. Happy to hear that. Not with her. That's happy to hear that. 1,600K for a 1-bedroom in Ottawa. 1,200K in the burbs of Ottawa. You're lucky to find something in Gatineau for cheaper because they made better housing policies, but the houses apartments are filling up fast as fuck because of Ontario prices.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Rob wears bootcut jeans.
Goat's Head, thank you for the 12 months of tier 1. Thank you. That's not actually true. I don't wear bootcut jeans, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you. Like if it was a fixed income so you could live in the middle of nowhere and not have to transit into a city for work. A pair of jeans that fits just right. Yeah. No, that's right, Matron's Militia. The most recent offer from the Ford government proposed on October 30th is a 4-year deal with an annual 2.5% wage increase for workers who make less than $43,000 a year and 1.5% for those who make more. This represents a slight increase, and just notice how it's dividing workers so they turn them against themselves, right? That's what means testing does. This represents a slight increase on their original offer of 2% for those who make less than $40,000 and 1.25% for those who make more. Just fucking pay them what they're asking for. God damn it. Education Minister Stephen Leachy, who participated in a mock slave auction when he was a frat boy at Western University in London, Ontario. Jeremy throwing in that little caveat about the education minister. That's great. Says the government has done everything in its power to keep students in class by proposing a more generous offer. Because CUPE didn't accept the government's offer, which ignores the vast majority of the union's demands, Lecce said the government has no choice but to make the offer one that educational workers can't refuse. And now there's this whole segment on media hacks, parroting the disgruntled parents line. We can just open a few of these tweets that Jeremy uncovered for this. I don't want to keep reading this piece. I encourage you to go ahead and read the piece yourself. I'm going to link it one more time. Read Jeremy's piece in Jacobin about this, so I don't just read the whole thing here on the stream. So Robin Urbach says, the Ford government's use of blunt instruments to keep education workers in school might have backfired spectacularly any time except now. After years of COVID disruptions, parents want their kids in school. Many will be inclined to overlook a little trampling of rights. Fucking ghoulish. This is our incredibly ghoulish political journalist media class in this country. Just fucking shameful. Disgusting, pathetic freak. Thank you. My mom worked for 30 years in a school cafeteria and is a Doug Ford supporter. Can't wait to have this discussion with her at the next family gathering. My dad was a Teamster. This is bullshit. That's so depressing. That's so fucking depressing. Later she says in this column, while plenty of education workers, their allies, and regular Ontarians will be justifiably disgusted to see Mr. Ford, professed advocate of the little guy, preemptively snuff out education workers' right to strike, many more Ontarians may be quietly content to see the Premier do all he can to keep kids in schools. Anthony Fury, hold on, sorry, I just gotta. Recently left his job as a columnist at the Toronto Sun. Says, yes, I agree that some support staff are paid surprisingly low, but intentionally disrupting what was supposed to be the first disruption-free school year in 4 years is a colossal jerk move on the part of the CUPE. And again, not putting the blame for this where it belongs on the fucking Ford government for not paying them what they deserve. Just pay them. Framing this as the greedy union going on strike is preposterous when there's literally the government has the power right now to just acknowledge their demands and pay them what they deserve, you know? And blaming this classic thing of blaming the actual workers who are going on strike, which is a right. It's our right in our fucking charter of right, our precious charter of rights and freedoms, which apparently can just be violated at any time. But people have the right to collectively bargain. So if they're not being paid what they deserve, which this guy acknowledges, they have the right to go on strike. You know what the solution is to that? Pay them what they deserve. Pay people a living wage. You know? It's pathetic. The Sun's Brian Lilly, whose girlfriend is Ford's press secretary. Says we only love or defend charter rights when it suits us. Even if Ford's legislation violates the recently invented right to strike, fucking loser, most parents won't care. He compared the strikers to the Freedom Convoy, which occupied downtown Ottawa for almost a month, claiming the issue in both cases was a violation of charter rights. The only big difference is, though, the Freedom Convoy was protesting for bullshit, fake, right-wing conspiracy reasons, and because they didn't want to take medicine, whereas these people are trying to get a living wage. And as I said many times, if the Freedom Convoy had been made up of actual workers, actual truckers that wanted to be paid better, I would have supported it. You know? It's not about the actual action. It's about what are they asking for. CUPE workers want to be paid a living wage. The Freedom Convoy is like George Soros is funding Justin Trudeau, and they want to eliminate the white race with immigration. So yeah, it's not quite the same thing. And this is from the Toronto Star. Martin Reg Cohn. Doug Ford pits his callousness against CUPE's recklessness. Like, this is how this is framed in our supposedly progressive media. It's supposed to be as well. It's supposed to be impartial. You know, this is how it's framed. Thanks to a brazenly provocative union strategy, CUPE gave Ontario's populist premier the excuse he was looking for to come down hard and likely emerge more popular, he says. Labeling an 11% wage increase a non-starter. Why is it a non-starter? Why? Why is it a non-starter for workers, essential workers, to ask for a living wage, especially in a province, in a country where housing is prohibitively expensive for millions of people? Anyway, I'm going to link Jeremy's piece one more time. I'm going to stop just like using Jeremy's piece for content. Please give it clicks, okay? And subscribe to Jeremy's Substack. He's a friend of the stream. Very good journalist. Please subscribe to those. There was a convoy dude at our picket this morning complaining that we were not there for them last year. Yeah, no shit, dude. None of these assholes will talk about how hard a strike is. These people have absolutely so little money to go without pay. They also have kids. They also have their lives disrupted. Yeah, this is never mentioned. Okay, so let me look at some of the tweets I have saved about this. What time is it? Okay, I got a little bit more time. No problem. I'm picking up. My energy's picked up since we started. Okay, I was very low energy to start. My energy's picking up. And again, this is how even like more liberal, more progressive journalists, this is how they frame these things that are supposed to be impartial, right? This is supposed to be impartial, and this is how it gets framed. Oh, did you delete the tweet? No, that's just Twitter bugging out. Colin DeMello from Global News says CUPE refuses to say how long it will be on strike, plunging the province into chaos. So immediately in his tweet, putting the onus on the striking workers, right? 55,000 members will be off the job starting tomorrow, and what the province says will be an illegal strike. You know, this is how our media class frames this. And again, these are always the first people to talk about impartiality. Whenever anyone like that's supposed to be a journalist, like our friend Duncan Kinney or like Jeremy Appel, whenever they have some kind of whenever they have openly espoused progressive values, they get framed as being, oh, they're not a real journalist. You're not a real journalist because you've got these biases. You're not impartial. But this is how our impartial, objective media class frames these kinds of activities, right? I wanted to look at this as well. This is guy Sid Sexero. I don't know how to pronounce his name. From Breakfast Television in Toronto. He's a Toronto media figure, not exactly a progressive guy, but is kind of look at this is how Twitter is broken. I was saying earlier, it's just broken. The website's broken. I went on I posted the tweet and it says it's unavailable. I click on the reply here. I scroll up. There it is. What's going on with that? So I think my understanding of this guy, I don't watch a lot of Toronto breakfast television. I did once appear on breakfast television, by the way, with my band early in the morning, which was quite an interesting experience. But isn't this guy a sports guy? Yeah, he's a sports guy. But I think kudos to him for using this segment to actually advocate for workers, which I know is an unthinkable thing to do if you're a fucking journalist in this country. But Sid managed to use his platform to do that today.
I'm angry. I'm really angry. And most days I wake up a little angry.
A little bit.
But I'm looking at some of the lowest paid public sector employees we have in this province. And Doug Ford just took out the biggest baseball bat he could find and went to town and acted like none of us were going to notice. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. And for every private sector union who's watching this, you need to be very careful at not saying anything here.
Cut this guy's mic.
This is no joke. And for days we've heard a couple things. Stephen Lecce, I thought, was handling that really tough press room very well. Lecce's way smarter than Ford. It's not even close. It's not even close. Ford wouldn't show his face in that room.
Nope.
Lecce at least went in there. And I heard kids need to be in class. Kids need to be in school. We need our education system to continue. We can't go backwards. We need to do this. My favorite, parents want their kids in class. We did research. Right, and I'm 20 pounds overweight and the sky's blue most days in Toronto when the fog isn't around. I hope you're gonna pay for that research, that parents want kids in school. Anyone who did should be fired immediately. They had one job since June, this government, after getting elected, they had one job, was to keep kids in school. Where are the kids today? I've been in this business 20 years. I know what incompetence is, and I know what incompetence looks like. When you can't do your job, you are incompetent. Kids aren't in school today. Doug Ford is incompetent. Stephen Lecce is incompetent. Any parent who's watching this with their kids around him and they don't know what they're going to do past today and they don't know what they're going to do past Monday, they had one job. When people can't do their job, they lose it.
Get his ass.
This government has no idea what it's doing. None. And Doug Ford didn't have the decency to sit in that chair around dinner time last night while this bill finally passed. My hero, chef's kiss, in a car back to Muskoka. Didn't have the decency to sit there. Lecce did.
At least.
I don't care what you think of Lecce. At least he's there. At least he's there. This government has no idea what it's doing, and you at home are paying the price. You have to figure it out with your kids. Yeah. You have to figure it out with your family and your.
Well, and yeah, that's the thing. They know what they're doing. They're helping their class interest. That is what no theory does to an MF. But that's the thing. It's like, at least someone is directing the anger where it should be, you know? And I'm not going to vouch for this sports guy, Sid's, like, regular politics. He's not some big progressive or anything. But, like, I at least, considering no one in the Canadian media establishment is correctly pointing the finger where it should be, at least someone is fucking doing it. And they're angry and hooting and hollering over it, right? And you know, random reactionaries and conservatives listen to this guy. So thankfully, at least someone is pointing the fucking finger where it should be. The working man vibes, that's right.
Your husband and your wife, well, they scream, kids need to be in class. They're not in class today. They don't know how to do their jobs properly. Mm-hmm. This was not difficult. The union came down by 6%.
Yeah.
Your kids are still not in class today.
Just
I
pay
can
them.
run this province. This is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was praising Lecce. Well, he was at least giving Lecce credit for like handling the media and talking to the media, whereas Doug Ford is not doing it. I guess that's where the credit was going. But again, I think this guy probably leans conservative.
This is ridiculous. Now, I'll also say this about the teachers' unions who were in the middle of their negotiation, who said to everyone in their union last night, support education workers, but outside of working hours.
MPP's got a huge fucking raise this year. The money's there to pay the teachers. Seeing these goddamn like people in the Ford government talking about how there's not money to pay these CUPE workers, educational assistants, custodians, librarians. They make more money than these people in one fucking, in a month than a lot of these people make in a year. It's fucking pathetic, these people. It's so frustrating. Ford gave himself an 85% raise. They're literally hanging out at their fancy cottages. It's just sickening. He's been slashing public services since he got in. Absolutely. What size fridge boxes do these education workers live in? I need to know this for proportion. Well, that's what I've been talking about. It's like housing in Ontario is prohibitively expensive. The average CUPE worker does not make enough money to afford housing in Ontario, let alone raise a family in any kind of like a decent environment. Just pay the CUPE workers what they're asking for. That's the answer to this strike. That's how if you care so much about getting kids back at school, pay the CUPE workers what they're asking for.
Outside of your normal working hours. That's cowardly. That's cowardly. I now know why the Ontario Teachers Pensions Union almost ran the Leafs into the ground when I was growing up. That's how they run their stuff too. Cowards. Some of those high horse people in this province, teachers, are not backing their people right now. I'm going after them too.
Unacceptable.
That's ridiculous. I hope this ends soon. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Because Ford and Lecce are not ready for what's coming this weekend.
I don't think they are.
Constituents are going to get a hold of them. Rich buddies are going to get a hold of them. Donors are going to get a hold of them. But I swear to you, by this time next week, CUPE will have a deal. The province will have a deal. Because the province are throwing around your constitutional rights like it's some tweet that they can just use whenever they feel like it and retweet when it's convenient for them. By this time, I swear to God, by this time next week, this is over. Because they are in way over their head.
It's frustrating how easily the NDP could take over an election. Fucking tell me about it, Ninjarific. They keep trying to tempt the Liberal vote. If they appeal to the 60% who don't vote, they could have the biggest majority in history. You're telling me... Well, hold on a sec. What? Cut the music. Ninjarific, you're telling me that the NDP should stop trying to be a slightly more progressive version of the Liberal Party and actually try to advance a political program that runs contrary to the endless austerity and the fucking endless cuts and the horrible mismanagement of the Conservative government and offers an inspiring vision for people that makes them want to put them into the government? Is that what you're telling me? Oh my, geez. This is outrageous. This kind of outrageous radical commentary. This is just wild shit. Has anyone in the NDP ever thought about this? I'm not trying to make fun of you, by the way. It's just like, it's amazing that it's still difficult for them to grasp. Again, we talked about Doug Ford. He just cruised to re-election. No problem. He just cruised to re-election, zero problem. After 4 years, because it's been years of this already, right? It's not like the NDP don't have very valid things that have been angering millions of people in the province that they could use to craft an alternative political vision. They have failed to do it at every turn. They've failed to do it federally. They failed to do it in Ontario. They failed to do it in Alberta. They failed to do it in BC. And when they try to run when someone runs in the NDP in BC to try to become the leader that actually has one of these bold progressive visions, what does the NDP leadership do? They say, no, get out of there. Not like that. No, thank you. Sad. Very sad. Anyway, here's some nice news though. We're not seeing that, like Sid is pointing out here correctly, I think. You're not seeing the level of solidarity from the teacher. The teachers' unions should be backing CUPE on this. They closed the schools today, but they should be unequivocally backing this CUPE strike. You know who's showing proper solidarity though? Here's an actual convoy news we can talk about. The Ontario Dump Truck Association stands with CUPE and all workers in support of their strike action against the deplorable use of the notwithstanding clause to erode and disrespect fundamental charter rights. We urge Ford Nation to negotiate, not legislate. Hell yeah. We love to see that. And sorry, I wanted to get to James's comment here. It says the big thing is that this isn't the first problem with the Ford government and some education union. They fucked up with my union too before the election. They keep constantly fucking up these negotiations, and even conservatives are forced to notice. It's not like they're playing hardball. They're literally just fucking it up. Well, that's the frustrating thing, is that no one has been able to take these constant fuck ups and translate that into any kind of meaningful attack on the conservative coalition. You know? The NDP slogan could literally be, what have you got to lose? The NDP has got to stop being trying to be a nicer liberal party. We already have a liberal party. Remember that we talked about Canadian propaganda coming from Molson? If I wanted water, I would just ask for water. If I wanted a fucking corporate neoliberal soulless party, I would just vote for the Liberal Party, wouldn't we? They already have those parties. Sorry. I've just got a DM from former chatter Pyrotech. I'm just looking at this one from 2021. It says, I came to your stream because I want to hear other opinions on the Huawei situation. I don't even remember what that was about. I didn't think I'd be derided as a racist, then banned by your rabid mods. And it says, what do you expect? This is from just now. What do you expect when you set the precedent that our charter rights don't matter? I don't know what this man's talking about. I don't know. You're banned for a reason. I have faith in my rabid mods, sir. Stop DMing me. Get out of my mentions. I got to whisper outrun. Okay, so before we got to go, let me see if I can just find. I know Pam Palmater was live earlier. Is she still there? Live has ended. Okay, it's no more, not going on anymore. Maybe there's some. This is Pistol Pete. Is there any live footage of this though? This is from today.
I can't tell you what the future is. I wish I had, a crystal ball, but I know this. I know that as long as our members are willing to fight, we will stand with them. I know that today, 8,000 education workers represented by OPSU are also joining our protest and leaving their workplaces.
Hello, Dan.
I know that Unifor education workers are thinking about this. I just talked to somebody from the building trades who are sending a whole contingent here later today. Our goal is to push until we get real justice, not just for these workers, but for all workers, because that piece of legislation threatens the rights of every working person in the province of Ontario.
Outrun. That's good. I don't know if there's any live footage of this, though. Or is there? Does anyone know if there's like a live feed of any of this strike stuff today? He does seem like he rocks, yeah. Lodane, what do you think? What do you think? You were involved. I mentioned I was shaving yesterday. What's your verdict? I still don't know how I feel about it. Not commenting on that. Okay. Kind of mysterious. Here's what was happening in the Ontario legislature. What is this half measure? We love a good heckling. We love the hootin' and hollerin'. Hell yeah. We love that. Fred. Very cool. Jesus Christ. Fucking broken website.
Ford and Letch's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Ford and Letch's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Ford and Letch's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Ford and Letch's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Ford and Letch's got to go. Ho, ho.
Very cool. Very cool. Support these striking CUPE workers. Right? Pay these fucking workers what they deserve. Pay them what they deserve. It's not hard. That's the solution to this. If you want kids to go back to school, pay these fucking workers what they deserve. By the way, Lodane, that was the same opinion that my mom has on this. How could someone possibly be against paying educators a living wage? Like, it's just... Like we were talking about, these are essential workers. custodians, librarians, early childhood educators, educational assistants.
We call on Doug Ford and Stephen Lecce, come talk to us. We will be out here and we call on Doug Ford and Stephen Lecce, come talk to us. We're more than willing to talk to you. It's why we served notice as early as possible, 150 days ago. But we are not going to be bullied and we're not going to have our rights taken away. We will be out here and we call on
I'm Lana Payne, National President, Unifor.
Good morning, everyone. Noreen Rizvi, Ontario Regional Director from Unifor. We're here bright and early this morning at Queen's Park, joining all of our CUPE sisters and brothers, education workers who are out fighting for better wages. We are supporting a province-wide protest. Unifor is going to be in every part of the province. We're fighting back against this egregious Bill 28 that has been introduced and passed by this government.
There's no doubt about it. This is an unprecedented assault on trade union freedoms for every single worker in this country, and it must be met with an unprecedented response. This is what's required of the labor movement right now in our country and in this province. And today we're going to start that unprecedented response with an announcement of financial solidarity for our CUPE sisters and brothers. Today, Unifor National and Unifor Ontario Regional Council is announcing $100,000 in support for our CUPE sisters and brothers to fight back against this strike-breaking law.
There is no way that the labor movement is going to allow workers who are fighting for their rights to be fined $4,000 a day and the union to be $500,000 a day, and we are not going to be part of that support. Unifor is going to be here with CUPE all the way, supporting the labor movement. We thank everybody who's out here. This is just going to escalate unless the government repeals this egregious bill.
Solidarity, everybody.
Solidarity.
Hell yeah.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
We love to see it.
Stand up, fight back!
We love to see it.
And people on fixed incomes across Canada are struggling.
Friend of the stream, Nikki Ashton.
In 40 years, food bank usage has soared. Let's be clear, our federal and provincial governments are part of the problem. This inflation crisis is tied to the profiteering of billionaires who have hoarded their wealth on the backs of working people. Instead of putting a stop to it, Liberals and Conservatives keep helping out their billionaire friends. But working people have had enough. Today, I want to share my absolute solidarity with the 55,000 education workers and CUPE members who are fighting back against Doug Ford. He, like all...
That's when the NDP hears Nikki saying this stuff, they're like, good, cut her mic. Cut her mic. On a related note, did you hear, hey Ben, what's up? Did you hear the Supreme Court in the US is considering forcing unions to pay for lost profits during strikes? Canada not far behind. Well, it's exactly why this showdown right now is so important, you know? If conservative governments, whether it's the Doug Ford government or whoever else, gets the idea in their heads that they can get away with this kind of shit, it's just they're gonna keep taking and keep pushing, you know? That's exactly why it needs to be shut down forcefully, and they need to have this blowed up in their fucking face. I love to shit on my little Scandinavian hellhole, but if our government tried to stop workers from striking, collectively bargaining there, a general strike would be called in minutes and there would be blood and barricades and fire in the streets. Yeah, seriously. We need more of that type of militancy here. Well, that's it. CUPE workers are being threatened with $4,000 a day fine, so it's essentially already happening. So that's exactly why this showdown is so important. If they get away with this, it's a fucking, not a death blow, but it's a massive blow to the ability of working people in this country to collectively bargain and organize.
All Conservatives claimed to stand up for working people until he got into power and started attacking them. The looming threat of austerity is something we must also oppose. Working people didn't create this crisis. Billionaires did. We need to tax the rich, close the loopholes, shut down offshore tax havens, and support working people and those on fixed incomes, CUPE members, and all workers fighting back for our kids, for our communities, for economic justice, for all of us.
There's Nikki. Great stuff. So just pay these fucking workers what they deserve, okay? Pay these workers a living wage. If you want kids to go back to school, pay these workers a living wage, and they'll go back to school right away. It's as simple as that. I gotta get going soon, folks. You know, I've not been able to stream as much this week. Haven't really been hitting the sub goal, which, as you know, I don't really care about. But I got to go in a couple of minutes. So if a few more generous chatters, or if some lurkers or non-community members want to support this stream, you can do so by subscribing to the channel. You can do that free of charge if you've got an Amazon Prime account. You can you can gift friend coin, or you can use
count
the tip
on me.
function
You're
as
gonna have
well.
Good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Someday you can all have this swell new icon if you just stick with its smiley face.
That's right. Thank you, James. Oh, so that's why you had the icon. You hadn't gotten the notification yet. Thank you, James, for the 24 months
You're gonna have good
of
old
Tier 1.
Rob
Very
to,
much
talk you
appreciated.
through all
Enjoy the
this.
brand new cool icon. Oh, goodness. Look at this. Look at this, folks.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Sir Brain Damage. Look at that. Rockets right up to that elite membership of the Friendship Triangle community. Thank you, Sir Brain Damage, for the 5 gifted subs. Your first 5 gifted subs in the channel. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. And thank you also to Metal Dipshit for the gifted sub. Very much appreciate that as well, Metal Dipshit. Thank you. Tech Bro chipping in. Hell yeah, we love it. We love our subversive tech bros. You're bringing Sir Brain Damage is bringing down the system from the inside. Great stuff. Also a part of European welfare states that's rarely discussed, there are several kinds of public institutions.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
That take care of children. Okay, now it's...
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
Oh boy, thank you so much, folks. Thank you to Alana for the 2 gifted subs. I really appreciate that, Alana. And thank you so much, Dakadoon, as well, for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Dakadoon. That's so cool of you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Also a part of European welfare states that's rarely discussed. There are several kinds of public institutions that take care of children after school, where they play and learn with classmates and other kids, leaving their parents room to work and strike. Yeah. So I can do both, right? I can get subs and read your comment as well. Comment, social distancing, and plenty to criticize, like you point out. Plenty to criticize about Scandinavian social democracy, but you see how these institutions function. And how much of a difference it can make in these kinds of situations. Oh yeah, Eric, strike. We read Jeremy's piece in Jacobin earlier about this. Eric, very good stuff. Twitch is giving 3 months of Game Pass with 2 gifted subs. Hell yeah, that sounds like a deal and a half. That sounds like a deal and a half. Absolutely love Jeremy Apples as well. Yeah, great guy, great journalist. You can't afford not to gift. It would be stupid not to. I stored it at Andor and it's very good. Glad to hear that, Old Dutch. I've been proselytizing about this to whoever wants to hear it. Peter Pig 2, first time chatter. Peter Pig 2 says Stalin did nothing wrong.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk
and obviously
you through all
Peter
this.
Pig, I would never dream of co-signing or agreeing with that statement at all. And you should be ashamed, sir. You should be ashamed of sharing such a terrible opinion that I don't agree with in this chat. Okay? It's okay. Just try not to let it happen again. Thank you, G. Cluppy, for the gifted sub. Although you said, do not support Rob, just want Game Pass. Fair enough. Fair enough. I tried to start Witcher and I didn't get into it. Okay, now Peter Pig, now I'm not sure about this. Now I'm not so sure about this. I'm not so sure about Peter Pig's statements here. I thought Peter Pig was maybe a potential ally, potential new community member. Now second guessing that. Let's stop while we're ahead, Peter. This is not. We're not. I don't like where this is going. We're on the fence about Peter Pig. Okay. Well, it was fun while it lasted. It was fun while it lasted. I'll stop you while you're ahead. Thank you, John. You should really get into season 4 without Henry Cavill as a bit. That would be a good bit. Yeah. But folks, we're 97% of the way to level 4 of this hype train. 97%. That's like one gifted sub away. That's barely anything. And what do you get? You're going to get emotes. You're going to get other good stuff with that. That's why you never condemn Stalin. That's right. I agree. I agree with that.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Look at that. Nay Zero. Thank you for the 200 friend coin. Thank you. It's funny. I'm seeing myself in like the same outfit, but I look different. It's very strange. Hello, Smack Jr. What's up? Hemsworth just gets Geralt in a way Cavill never did. That's right. I'm gonna be one of those guys. I'm gonna be a Witcher contrarian. I really do just frankly, I just like seeing Cavill in the role. I didn't really watch the show, but I wouldn't mind just like watching it on mute, especially the part where he's in that steamy bath segment, just for like research purposes. You know, I don't mind that either. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just let this hype train play out, and then I gotta go. Hopefully my kid is not too like upset with me that I left him at school to like have a fun day of watching movies and hanging out with animals and playing. It's literally all he was doing today. Pick him up, he's going to be furious with me for forcing him to do this. First season was they were just pumping nudity to act like an HBO show. They toned it down in the second season. Not a Witcher guy, but that Cavill critique hits different. It's true. My lady is disappointed every time Cavill ends up captured less on film. She's tore up. Yeah. That's problematic. I don't know. Yeah, Outrun. I tried to watch it. And I couldn't get into it. I don't know. Could not get into it. There wasn't even a witch in it. I never played the games either. Maybe that, or read the books or anything like that. Maybe that's part of it. I think the somewhat confusing like time jumps, which I think was supposed to be clever, I found it more just confusing and annoying as well. Just look up screenshots of hot Geralt and you'll get like 80% of the show. Maybe just to like check it out, we can just take a look at that. Just as like a joke. Well, there might be some objectionable stuff on there. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's worth checking out. I don't know. You know? Maybe it's worth a second look. I don't know, you know. Let's see here. I probably can't raid because I forgot to do the thing where I have to log out and log in and out of Twitch. We got Doc Hollywood playing Fallout. We've got professional wrestler Adam Cole playing The Last of Us Part 1. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if I can get do you think we can get professional wrestler Adam Cole into the Friendship Triangle community? Should we do an Adam Cole raid? Do we want to raid Adam Cole, baby? Do you think we can get a shout out? His name is The Chugs. CHUGS. Let's give it a go. Why not? Let's give it a go. No knives? Yeah, I think we can do the knives. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see an issue with it. He'll find it funny. He'll find it funny. Let's see how this goes. This is not a bad raid. He's got, what is he working with? 400 viewers? Maybe we can get acknowledged on this. It's a friendly knife thing, yeah. Acknowledge me. Maybe Adam Cole will acknowledge me and acknowledge this community. You've just been robbed, baby. That's a good stream message. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I picked up my energy. I was very low energy at the beginning of this, and we ended up doing okay. I feel good about this stream. Thank you for watching this week. I'll be back on Monday. Plenty more to talk about next week. I'll be here just like always. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Come to go join the Discord if you're not in the Discord server. See you soon. Take care. Goodbye.
Okay.